little background here. This software in InfoDrainage and InfoWorks and those softwares come from what was previously a company called InnoVise, which was acquired by Autodesk in 2021 and has become the Autodesk Water Infrastructure Solutions division, or the Autodesk Water if you want to make it easier to say. Okay. So talking about InfoDrainage, you know, this slide really is meant to illustrate how drainage design has changed and what you're trying to get out of your drainage design has changed. As you see, like on the left, they have a typical grate and it gets filled with leaves or sticks or other debris, and then it's not going to flow correctly. Okay, and that's all hard drainage in a concrete gutter, right? Well, if you look in the upper right to this image, this is a rain garden. This is where InfoDrainage comes in, designs these for you so you can have your infiltration built into the rain garden. So you're kicking out clean water on the other end here instead of all this debris trying to put that through, etc. Couple other advantages of using InfoDrainage is that it has BIM compliance, which is a big word these days, right? I mean, everything in the infrastructure design, all projects just about, it seems like at least larger ones, are BIM based. If you get hired by an architect for their project, they want BIM based information. Well, InfoDrainage does that. It also addresses challenges for green infrastructure design. Can do overland flow corridors, underground calculations. And then they talk about the SUDs, or the sustainable drainage systems. Okay, that's a feature of InfoDrainage, where, like, if you used to use Autodesk storm and sanitary analysis, or you've relied on that for years with Civil 3D, it doesn't do BIM compliance, green infrastructure, and SUDs. So you might ask yourself, if you truly want to provide green designs to your clients, do you want to offer that through your firm? Well, the answer really is, whether you want to or not, if you can't or won't, your ability to win contracts is going to go way down. And so, you know, this is a way of design that you may want to consider embracing as a way of enhancing your company's offerings and ensure future work. This is a comparison. This table shows you the different features in the various versions, InfoDrainage versus storm and sanitary. Okay. And you can see all the different functionality we have here. Plus there's comparative reporting built in, so I can compare my existing design to my or my existing conditions to my completed design. Easy to set up, nice clean reports. This is just a picture of a couple of different types of green drainage infrastructure that are provided as part of InfoDrainage. So you can design all these types of drainage systems. Ponds, which we can now do in Civil 3D, by the way, and I'm going to show you that. That's a nice deal. Rain gardens, and then filtration trenches. This chart shows you the workflow that you want to use when you're working InfoDrainage and Civil 3D. So you'll lay out your pipes and manholes in Civil 3D using your Civil 3D gravity networks, storm or sanitary. And then you'll export from Civil 3D to InfoDrainage. Then in InfoDrainage, you can go and design and do your pipe sizes, your manhole sizes, do the hydraulic analysis, and then you can take it back to Civil 3D for your completed design so that you can do your sheet outputs and if you have finished ground surfaces to complete, etc. If you start in InfoDrainage, you don't start in Civil 3D, then you can do manual layout on top of the background data, or you can import like from a shape file, ArcGIS files, okay? And then you'll do your design, et cetera, and bring it back into Civil 3D at the end. So that's just a little workflow on the process. Okay, let's take a look here in Civil 3D. I don't need to save that. So here's Civil 3D. I want to show you these couple of new features up here. First off, and I know this is going to be asked a lot about, is pond. People want to be able to create ponds in Civil 3D. Okay. How deep do I want it? What's the inside slope? Make it 1-to-1. And I'll set, I know that I want to use like 800. I'm cheating, sorry. And what layer, all that looks good. Okay, so I say, okay, it wants to know where to put it. Well, I'll stick it back in here behind these parcels. And close. And you see it automatically builds the line or it's not really, it's part of the pond. So I don't want to call it a polyline or a feature line at this point, because really that is part of the pond. But it adds that in there for you. Okay. Now what you can do is, if you do want to add this to a surface, is, well, let me show you the properties of the pond first, because this helps you with the design. I can go to pond properties. Okay. Here's my storage. So at 6 feet deep, my rim elevation is 800, and this is the volume of the pond. I can kind of do like a stage storage sort of analysis here if I want. I could say, well, what if I go to, 7 feet? And then it's this much. And I'll do one at 10 feet. Okay, and then if you change the slope, the side slopes, maybe here I decide this does want to be 3-to-1 with it that deep, because you'd never get out. Okay. Now what happens is it adds each of those lines, or those feature lines, or what can become feature lines, or different storage levels. It adds those into that pond for you. Now I can take this thing now and extract the feature lines out of it. What style? That's fine. I'm just going to do the top and bottom and not all these extra ones. If I do a dynamic link to the pond, then I can make it so that a pond surface automatically updates if I modify the pond. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do this. Okay, so now I have, where's my, layer, see topo feature. There we go. Okay, so it extracted those, and now I have feature lines there. So I can add those into a surface, right? I'm going to make my own new surface. This will be Tim's Pond. That's fine. So then I could take those two feature lines, that and that, add those to surface as break line, which surface, Tim's Pond. Okay, I'm going to add some supplemental points, say every 10 feet. Tighten that 10 up just a hair. Okay. If I can find the escape button. There we go. So now we have a tin surface of that pond. Object view. Okay. Now I'll show you a little trick here for fixing up these kind of deals where you get it cuts across with the tin there and doesn't fill in this area. That's super easy to fix. And this is, you could have done it in old versions, but in 25 and 26 versions of Civil 3D, you don't have to set a style or anything. You just go here, edit surface, add line, and then it turns on the tin lines automatically. And then I can just say I want a line added there to there. That fixed up that one. And I'll do another one here to here and fixed up that one. Let's do that. So now my pond looks correct, right? If I wanted to take that and make a single surface that shows all of it, I could go, I think there's a boundary in this surface here. There. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to paste this into here. Now you may want to take and do some daylighting off of this feature line, right? Go to grading tools. So if you wanted to grade and have it come down to the surface, you can go right off this outside feature line for that. But I'm going to show you that overall surface now. I'm going to paste into corridor FG, go down here, edit, paste surface, Tim's Pond. Now this is a combo surface. Looks like that. Now, if I edit my style, I can tell it in a 3D, turn on the triangles, make it look a little better, fill it in. Oops. So object viewer, there you go, and there's your pond in there. So that's a real quick, easy way of building a pond now. They've also given you a tool for underground storage, okay? That can be where you're going to sketch out the outline of the storage and then give it the properties, or you could have a polyline already there and it'll create a underground storage from that object. And you can do a channel. So for example, maybe I want a drainage channel from running from over here. I'm going to put it here. I don't know what that's doing there. And I come out in this direction like that. Well, if I want to turn that into a channel, create channel. Now I do want to point out these tools that I'm showing here, these are technical previews as part of Civil 3D 2026. So we don't know for sure the future of these. The idea here is for you to use it, make comments to Autodesk, tell them what you like, what you don't like, etc. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the tech preview, like maybe in Civil 3D 2027, they might make you subscribe to these tools with InfoDrainage or something. I just don't know. So, but nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and create a channel. Oh, I didn't pick it. Will it use a polyline? Oh, I do have a feature. No, there's another feature line. Has to be a feature line. My mistake. Okay, so let's create a feature line from object, from that. Excuse me 1 second. Take me 7 seconds.
Hey Tim, I think the audio, maybe you're muted. We
Oh,
can't
yeah,
hear you.
yep. I'm sorry, I was muted. Yep.
No worries.
Okay. Okay. And then here I've brought this into InfoDrainage. And then of course from here, you could do flow calculations. You can add additional structures. So if I was going to do some green design and I want a swale or here's a dry swale, here's ponds. Okay. Let me go back and just see where I need to. Oh yeah, I want to tell you a little bit more about the Autodesk water department and what softwares are available to you. You may not just be doing sewer and storm drain design. You might also need to do flood control design. Okay. That's where this InfoWorks ICM comes in. ICM standing for Integrated Catchment Model. Now, what's different here with the InfoWorks is that it can use the various different types of models and put them together into a full single total model for your entire project. Okay, so you could have your 1D and 2D networks, and it can merge those into a single model. See if there, yeah, here's your 2D runoff model. Okay, so this takes your mesh surface and calculates where flooding might occur, etc. And we also have water distribution software. This is InfoWater Pro, as well as InfoWorks WS Pro. That WS water service maybe, or water systems. The idea here, this is water delivery. Now, if you're an ArcGIS user, you can get InfoWater Pro, which runs inside your ArcGIS. If you're want to be more of a standalone but team-based, then InfoWorks WS Pro. InfoWorks WS Pro used by engineering teams who don't require ArcGIS. And then InfoWater Pro from within ArcGIS. And then they have this Info 360 asset, which is water asset management. And I'm just going to slowly scroll through those. Okay. Well, that's about what I had to say today. I'll just say thank you for attending.